G'day, my name is Ted Egan. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of TrustDefender. TrustDefender's mission is to deliver user-friendly online security solutions that are transparent, on-demand, transaction-based and stops online fraud, thus building consumer confidence in the online world.
State-of-the-art technologies, innovative business strategies, behind the scenes, insights from cutting-edge users around the globe on World Business Review.
Welcome to World Business Review. I'm Norman Schwarzkopf. As online businesses' activity increases, so does fraudulent activity. New technology from TrustDefender is now working to protect both small and large businesses, as well as consumers worldwide. Joining us is Ted Egan, Chief Executive Officer of TrustDefender. Welcome to World Business Review, Ted.
Thank you, General. It's a pleasure to be here.
Also joining us for this discussion is Andreas Baumhof, Chief Technology Officer, Director and Co-Founder of TrustDefender. Welcome to World Business Review.
Thanks, General. Pleasure.
And also with us we have our expert, Jim Eckenrode, Managing Director of Banking and Payments for Tower Group. Welcome to you too, Jim. It's a pleasure as always to have you here.
I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
How is the issue of online security impacting consumer confidence, government, and the economy?
Well, it's obviously a huge impact. You only need to look at the headlines in the daily newspaper to understand how it impacts consumer confidence. We see news events relating new and different forms of online fraud and all sorts of fraud in the financial services industry every single day. As far as the governments are concerned, obviously new regulations are being advanced, like the FFIEC guidance in the United States, to deal with these emerging forms of threat. And finally, the economy in general certainly is impacted as we see the growth in online commerce. Fraudulent activities are going to get in the way of that and potentially hinder the growth in online activity.
Ted, why did you develop TrustDefender and how does it work?
We saw there were vulnerabilities and gaps existing in the security chain, and what we sought to do was develop a solution that brought together both the endpoint device and the corporation or the enterprise in real time and was on demand. And so we found that TrustDefender to meet those needs and requirements.
Makes good sense. Jim, who are the people perpetrating these crimes?
Well, increasingly, General, it's organized crime. In the early days of online fraudulent activities or virus activities, in many cases those were individuals. They were either looking to create a little mischief or they had an axe to grind or something like that. But increasingly, as online activities of this nature have resulted in financial gain, organized crime has gotten involved. And certainly we see a lot of growth in areas like Eastern Europe, South America, as where these activities are being generated from.
Andreas, what can businesses and consumers do to protect themselves?
To solve the problem, we have to look at the consumer side and also to the enterprise side. The enterprises, they should have many layers of defense against online crime, and they should not rely on one technology on its own. But they should deploy technologies that is easy to use, unintrusive, and very simple for the customers to use. For the customers on the other side, the situation is not that simple because their security constraint is defined by whatever security measures the corporations actually choose. And they have a duty of care of their own security, of the state of the security of their PC. So for the customers, I would recommend really be very cautious what you do and follow the security advices of your online bank very thoroughly.
Ted, what are the strategic advantages that organizations can achieve with TrustDefender?
For the first time ever, a bank can gain a better risk profile of the end user's device. Rather than just advising their end users or their customers that their security standards that they need to apply whenever they carry out a transaction, TrustDefender enables them to actually educate the customer at what status of the security of their device is at. Also, TrustDefender enables the banks to be able to deliver greater customer confidence by enabling the customer to know the security status of their device whenever they carry out a transaction. Finally, TrustDefender can help those enterprises who deploy TrustDefender to substantially reduce online fraud.
It's interesting that along those lines, some people, my wife included, won't use certain transactions because they've heard so much about, the fraud and abuse that occurs online and offline that they just are afraid to go in and touch any of them.
Well, that's, the banks haven't done themselves any favors by being less than attentive to this issue up to this point in time. And as we've discussed, I think they need to take it a lot more seriously because the online environment is here to stay and they need to take action to secure it. Ted, what's the pricing model for TrustDefender should a bank want to implement that solution?
Jim, TrustDefender is priced on a per license per annum basis and is no more costly than the cost of a stamp for a small package. And it's not a solution that is cumbersome on the organisation to roll out. It's easily rolled out and there's almost an instantaneous return on the investment.
Andreas, if a customer doesn't update their version of TrustDefender, for how long will they remain protected?
The TrustDefender solution is an on-demand solution, which means that the update process is basically tightly tied into the overall security. And so, for example, if you haven't used TrustDefender for 1 month and you haven't updated it for 1 month, if you do a financial transaction after that 1 month, it will be automatically up to date. So it will instantly check its integrity and verify whether the policies are still up to date. It is kind of an always-on protection because there is no separate update process. This is all tied into the TrustDefender solution itself.
Very good. Ted, thank you very much for being here. It's a very, very important subject and you certainly have shed a lot of light on it.
Thank you, General. It was a pleasure to be here today.
Andreas, it's also great to have you here. Thank you very much and we look forward to your return.
Thank you very much, General.
And Jim, as always, the expert of experts, thank you very much for being here. You always add a great deal to the program.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here as always.
And thank you for watching. Until next time, for World Business Review, I'm Norman Schwarzkopf.